on, everybody? This is part 2 of the two-part series with Gorgatron versus Seen But Not Heard. Yet again, I will not bore you with my introductions. There's plenty of stories, plenty of BS going around. We'll continue where we left off with Cam, and also hear a little bit from Paul Johnson, who was not able to be there the day we did the swap cast. So, enjoy.
Resolution comes with bloodshed. No mercy, context signs on the dotted line. Inhuman behavior of the autocrat. Mind racing, taken by emotionless faces. Prisoner of war. Seize my voice for hands. Counter line. No life is spared from decay. Conquering opposition, constant enslavement. Here is in my mind. No use trying to fight. While I still alive. Martyrs will endure on the arrival of victims. The agony commences. Incisions made precisely. The fluid spills completely. There is no reprisal. The suffering must continue. No use for simple flesh. Improvements made. Turn over your life. We must improve our humankind. We are obsolete. Execute the radical beliefs. Pathogenic automation. Revise mechanized servants.
What's going on, everybody? I'm here with Paul Johnson from Gorgatron. Paul, how you doing, buddy?
Coming to you live.
Live after death.
Interwebs.
Paul wasn't able to be with us during the rest of the interview with the Gorga boys, so I had him come in separately so you can kind of get his POV on a couple things. So, Paul, one, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Cheers, buddy.
And the first question I asked everyone during the COVID bit, what have you been doing to keep sane?
We've just been working on writing a new record. I don't know. Music-wise, we're probably halfway done with it. Just been trying to play guitar. Been building pedals like crazy.
Let's talk about that for a second here that you brought that up. Okay. You built a custom pedal for me, the inverted cross pedal, which some of you have seen, which is one of my favorite things in the world, and also gifted me a delay pedal. What other pedals are you building?
I mean, all kinds of overdrives, a lot of clones of shit for right now. I'm working on my own design. That's going to be out soon. Overdrives, delays, reverbs, whatever I can put together, man. I mean, any kind of dirt.
Very cool, very cool. And where can people get these?
You can contact me on the Gorgatron Facebook or my personal Facebook or Instagram, any of the shit. If you're interested and got a crazy idea for something, let me know.
And do it, because if you've seen my inverted cross pedal, you saw how happy I was with that and how much better of a player it makes me. So
he says it unleashes the essence of pure evil.
Satan. So besides doing all that stuff and writing the new album, working on the pedals, guitar stuff, which we both obviously do a lot of. It's nothing but guitars and metal in our life and work. But
I was going to say, in retrospect, I don't think it's really changed much since before COVID, because that's all I did before and during. So it's like, still a death metal dumbass, like always.
And that's the thing that's cool with you guys. I've known the Gorga Boys for damn near 20 years now. I've watched the creation from going from Klooge to Her Seduction to me being the drunk asshole at a Her Seduction show screaming Alabama Autopsy, then throwing up on some poor guitar player from Minneapolis' leg who refuses to believe that was still me or that was him.
That was you, Brian.
Brian, I know it was you, that was Jackson that I wanted. But to watch all that and then build into this fucking epic machine as Gorgatron. And I say that, and because you guys are my friends, it sounds like I'm just blowing smoke up everyone's asses. But no, the impact of Gorgatron in the local scene, the regional scene, and moving on to the national scene has been huge. Like, a lot of recognition, a lot of hard work. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, they're my friends, they're a good band. No, they're a fucking great band because they're great musicians. So I just want to say that I'm super proud to fucking be able to know you and shit. And
thanks, buddy.
I fucking love Gorgatron. I've been to the first show, and I missed the last one because of stuff. But yeah,
it's all right.
So if you get a chance to see Gorgatron when shows happen again, if you haven't, one of the hardest working, best, coolest fucking death metal bands you can meet from the Fargo region, and it's pretty fucking cool. And on that note of me kissing your ass there, when you're out touring, what are some of your favorite stops? Like your favorite towns to fucking chill in, besides obviously Fargo, because it's awesome.
I mean, Sioux Falls has kind of become our home away from home. It's always a fucking rad time there. Milwaukee, we got a bunch of friends there. The last show we did there with, shout out to Pathology, Putrid Pile. Yeah, man, it was killer. Man, we've had rad times all over, like Philly. The times we've been out there was killer. There was even an ice cream truck that pulled up to the show one time.
Fucking brutal.
So there's a bunch of dirtbags eating fucking push pops and stuff. Yeah, man, I don't know. I couldn't pick a favorite. The time we were down in Texas, that was awesome. Vegas, I don't know, kind of been all over, except for opposing ends of the country. We haven't really been to the Northwest or the Southeast very much. So I guess we got to fill that area in if anyone's listening from those areas.
Something to work on. I've got a few contacts out there I can push you at. So, besides the touring and the playing and all that stuff, what is one of your favorite things to do in your free time besides being wrong about Van Hagar being the better Van Halen?
beating the shit out of Nathan Peeler. It's pretty fun over Van Halen arguments. Yeah, man, my fucking whole life kind of revolves around music. So it's like, if we're not doing Gorgatron stuff, building pedals, working on guitars, kind of getting into working on amps. Me and you have been going to the gym a whole bunch lately. That's cool.
Becoming swole mates.
Fucking show you some of the
Yeah, guns.
But it's like, it's rad to have like a partner in crime with that again, because I used to be pretty hardcore into weightlifting and been a fat lazy piece of shit for a while now. So it's good to get back in the gym and be not such a fat lazy piece of shit.
And when you're at the gym, getting those fucking games and creating those pedals with those games,
pumps, dude.
What are some of your favorite releases to come out in the last like year or 2 years?
Dude,
there's a lot in there.
Honestly, I'm so fucking out of the loop on like new records, dude. Like I couldn't even. I'm still listening to shit from 2006. Like, I was listening to I Monarch when we went to the gym earlier. That album still fucking kicks my ass every time I listen to it. Yeah, I don't know. The Last Testament record was fucking awesome.
Fuck, they never disappoint though.
Dude, it's crazy to see those guys like putting out some of the heaviest shit they've done. Like this late in the game, you know.
They were one of those forces similar to Judas Priest in my eyes, where they got heavier with each album and never fucking stopped. A lot of people will fucking talk shit about this album, but the Jugulator Judas Priest album is pretty much just
heavy.
It's pretty much just a fucking longer version of the song Painkiller. The whole album is just fucking amazing. But I digress from Testament. The same thing. Fucking what was that fucking album? With Dave Lombardo.
Oh, The Gathering?
The Gathering, yeah. That fucking album, that and the Demonic with Gene Hoglan.
Yeah.
And then Gene Hoglan still, I believe, plays with Testament, fucking just shredding it up. I mean, you can't have like a fucking better drummer and then that fucking frontman of Chuck Billy just growling out those fucking parts, man. It's the shit.
Well, yeah, apparently, so that show they did here in Fargo, we opened for them.
That they did.
Anyway, like apparently Gene Hoglan was kind of like a last minute addition to that. So, yeah, it was kind of like, hey, can you be here in a week and do this fucking tour? That's just a testament to how fucking badass Gene Hoglan really is, man.
A testament to?
Hey.
Hey! Well, Paul.
Here with Big Pun, dealing out some capital punishment.
Fucking A, wordplay is my game. Paul, I just want to thank you for taking the time to just kind of shoot the shit a little bit, kind of let people know what's going on with Gorgatron and with you and how to get those sweet fucking pedals. So trust me, if you're looking for some new fucking shit for your tone, get a hold of this man. You won't be disappointed. Anything you want to say? Any shout outs before we go?
I want to give a shout out to myself. No, sorry. That was ODB reference. Just thanks for having me, buddy. Cheers to all my heavy metal brethren and sisterin. Is that a word?
It is now.
Okay, cool.
Sister and Christian, I believe that was a Night Ranger song.
I don't know, man. Keep on trucking. Don't let the COVID get you down.
Hopefully, you'll be seeing Gorgatron in your town soon. Time will tell. And
Big
possibly...
coming.
And possibly a little head-to-head with my new project that will be out soon as well. Brothers in Metal. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Satan. Someone actually sent me a message today. They're like, hey, this guy from Green Jello sent me a message request. Is he legit? I'm like, there's like 9,000 members, so I don't know anymore.
800 plus. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, sweet. I finally made it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Should have gone to college now, huh, Mom?
I'm getting at like the alien story and shit. Like, so for those of you that don't know, like the guys in the band Tool got their start in Green Jello. They lived and created their band at Bill's house. That's Maynard. The drum player in that band is Danny Carey. Maynard used to hang out in a closet and talk to a demon moth when he lived at the Green Jello place. The song, is it Rosetta Stone or Stone something? is about Bill. I'm not a Tool fan, but it's about Bill because Bill was abducted by aliens out in Landers, California, at a place called Giant Rock, right? He shows up, bursts in the room, bawling, freaking out, insisting that he knows he is covered in millions of cuts, freaking out, talking about how he was abducted, all this stuff. And they're like, right on. And then they wrote a song about it. So, like, Bill's known for the whole alien thing, right?
Yeah.
And then I asked him, and then something weird happened. It happened. It was a real thing that happened.
Like I said, I remember the end of it because I was tuckered out from a long
That
day.
was a real thing.
Yeah, we've had some crazy times.
Yeah. Remember that time you pulled a bro card on me and then I had to play in a fucking Volbeat cover band?
I do. Yeah.
Remember that time I then turned to Mitch and was like, hey, dude, I'm pulling a bro card. You gotta play in a fucking Volbeat cover band. He's like, all right. And then there was a time we were practicing and Mitch and I were playing a song and everyone else in the band was playing another song, but it was basically the same song.
They're all similar.
Yeah, that was good times.
And, the thing is, I do love Volbeat. I won't ever deny that. But we did make some coin off that. And we all had nothing else going on at the time.
And then one of the guys was like, yeah, we're going to make merch. I'm like, what the fuck are we...
Yeah, that was sort of
Why
like...
would we make merch? What the fuck?
I mean, it was fun. It was a fun time. I mean, we didn't fart in someone's face. And
Hey, remember that time we went to a show in Minneapolis and then some random girl walked in off the street, didn't know what she was walking into, and she walked straight to the stage to Dino Sex's ass from the Murder Junkies naked, and I grabbed her hand and put it to the drumsticks, and then she just started fucking Dino Sex's ass. Remember that? Oh, really? Lee's Liquor Lounge, dude.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was the first time we went to Lee's.
And then, yeah, good times.
Oh,
Rape Door played that show.
Yep.
Shout out Nicole.
Great band. Killer band. Good time.
Yeah.
Was that when we King Diamond her face with a Sharpie?
No, that was the night that you threw the kid across the room because you didn't know who Andy the Rock was.
That's right. Oh, I get confused. I'm old. But yeah, that was all fun times. Great people. Great band.
Yeah.
We've seen some shit in the...
Remember that time we flew down to Texas to see King Diamond, and then we lived in Texas for a week?
Yeah, that was great.
And they went to a really... Chico's Bonitas.
Chicas Bonitas.
Where they don't have a zero static pole or whatever. That's, a real stripper pole. It's a floor truss that you crank to hold up your fucking floor on your house. That's what was their stripper pole. And then I'm like, there was some things happening there, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get a beer. And I sit at the bar. You've been there. You watching this, you've been there. And then I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? And I asked the bar, I'm like, what's that gold record? And he's like, oh, it's a Pantera record. I'm like, why do you have a Pantera record? He's like, oh, yeah, Vinnie Paul owns this place.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, no shit, huh? I look around, I'm like, seems to be doing all right for himself.
And to be fair, we were there on like a fucking Monday or
Tuesday,
Tuesday or something like that. And the things I remember about that trip were we did the Chicas Bonitas. We did the King Diamond show, which was fantastic. Obviously, anytime you see King is amazing. And it was at the House of Rock in like Houston?
House of Blues.
House of Blues.
House of Houston, yeah.
Yep. And where drinks are about as much as a mortgage, I remember. I ordered a beer and a shot, and they're like, that'll be $22. I'm like, for what?
Right.
Like, I'm used to Fargo prices, but,
What else happened on that fucking trip?
we discovered Whataburger.
Oh, true. Very true.
And the most awkward, like, record scratch of walking into that jazz club, or that blues club.
Oh, my dad!
Yep.
Yeah, you guys all met my dad.
Yep.
And then we went to it wasn't like a all black club, but it was a black, all black club. Everyone's dressed to the nine.
We were not.
It's a jazz club. My pops was playing that. Yeah, he invited us out to the show.
Yep.
And we're all wearing like the VIP King Diamond pentagram
Jackets.
All three of us walk in just looking like assholes. And we kind of like literally, like you said, record scratch.
Yep.
Everyone turns like, what the fuck? Right? And then we go up to the bar, and it's like a, Cavaffier and martini type thing. We're like, you guys have beers?
I think I classed it up, and I believe I had a gin and tonic.
There you go.
And the part I remember the most was your dad was trying to get you to go jam with him on stage. And you're like, nah, not going to do that. We're just going to hang out and watch. So your dad's playing, and they invite some woman to sing with them. And
that bitch gonna carry a notice. She had a songbook in her hand.
Yep, and this lady is telling me to boo this woman on stage, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
That is my stepmom, Brenda.
She did not like that woman, and I did not want that to be a thing.
I don't know why they have her sing. That bitch couldn't carry a note if she had a songbook in her hand. Don't clap. She's like, one of us started clapping. She's like, grab your hand. Don't clap for her.
Yep. Okay.
She shouldn't be on this. Yeah. Shout out Brenda. But yeah, no. Before that even happened, everyone was still like, "What the fuck are these dudes?" And then they finished. I think we walked in and they were doing Black Knights, Buddy Guy.
Yep.
And kind of jazzed it up a bit, which I fucking love that song. Anyway, we're sitting at the bar and they finished the song, and my dad, I didn't even know he knew we were there yet. He's just a sly dude, and he goes, "Hey y'all, I'd like y'all to meet my son and his friends. They're up at the bar." And then this tension in the room just dropped, and then people started coming up to us trying to buy us drinks and shit. And they're like, "Oh man, we love you, Dad."
It was real cool.
Cool fucking
fantastic music that night. And like I said, once that little bit of
I forgot
tension
about that.
of just because I mean, if you walk into a country bar or any bar where you can't wearing a King Diamond jacket, you're gonna get looked at funny. You walk into public.
Was that the same night we did drunk ass fucking karaoke and ate Hoax death metal pizza?
Yep.
Oh, good times.
That place is fantastic. Is that place still open?
No, they closed down.
That's too bad. Austin.
Dirty Dog is still open.
Okay. Because Austin was.
Yeah, Austin's
that
a
place.
killer city, man.
I remember the one thing about that place was we were going to a bar. I believe you were with your dad at this point when we first got there. Brian had taken me to see some sights, and it was 5:30 in the afternoon, and live bands are playing, which is
they
cool.
have outside of every venue there is band parking only.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
super
okay,
fucking cool,
sorry.
man.
That's the way it should fucking be.
Right?
It's the way it should be. A trick if you don't have band parking exclusive signs. If you're a touring band or just you're going to a different city, get an orange cone and literally just put it right behind your van, and no one will fuck with you.
Fucking A.
And just leave it there. Keep an eye on it. But orange cone your shit and just leave it there. You're fine. That's what buses do outside of that. The same spot you're parked in, when buses do it, they just throw touring bands when it's a whole package. Orange cone.
Super smart thing to do.
Yeah. Good stuff. Man.
Yeah, we've seen some things.
Yeah. We lived together.
Yep.
That was cool. Dan Halen would just every Sunday I would wake up at 9 a.m. Not because that's when I woke up, but that's when there would be cigarette smoke bellowing underneath my door, and Metallica fucking Ride the Lightning album blasting, and then him playing guitar along to it, and I walk out and he's just, the glass, the booze. What's going on? And I just hang out and talk to Dan for a bit.
Yeah, the Sunday fun days, man. Those are something.
One time, Carl and I were drinking some beers, man. I think it was bar close. And we're just standing outside of the bar. And there was a guy walking on the sidewalk carrying a plastic bag, right? Just like a normal guy. I made a joke. I'm like, that guy looks like Dan Halen. And then as the guy was crossing the street, he morphed. Carl was a witness to it. He can back me up on this. This random guy.
That man we pointed at was not Dan Halen.
Yeah, and then I was joking. I was like, I know Dan Halen when I see him. And then he just turned around and it was Dan Halen, right? Mm-hmm. So he walks up to us. I'm like, the fuck are you doing? He's like, the videotapes line. Yeah. And then he's like, what's in the bag? He's like, denim, some jeans.
I think you had a bottle of whiskey too.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Whiskey.
And yeah, I was like, why do you have jeans? And what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. And he's like, what the fuck did he say? He's like, I gotta get going. I'm busy working on a reiteration of like some fucking symphony or something.
That sounds
And
about
then
right,
they
too.
just walked away.
God damn.
That guy's a funny guy.
So, Cam, let me ask you, do you have anything to add from what I asked Carl earlier about new things in the future, music-wise, just
Hey,
things
Carl,
to keep you busy and stuff?
make your computer work. I don't know if it's recording. I'm sure it is.
Carl, your computer, bro.
Sorry, his computer totally just did this.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, what is going on here?
Oh, okay, it's still recording.
I know your password now.
Yeah. All right, so sorry. Let's redo that question.
Oh, just saying, to add to what Carl was saying about things that you guys are doing now that, shows and stuff.
Yeah, so...
What else are you doing besides just the music and all that?
Yeah, we're working on new material. We just did some video stuff today and yesterday.
Yep.
And we're doing more video stuff next week. There's been some buzz about some tours, but it's kind of depending on how the world reacts. By the second quarter of the year, the vaccine will kind of be a mainline thing. So ideally, the industry, I don't know anything. This was just what I'm told. But ideally, things will start kind of slowly popping off. But by late summer,
good,
things should. That's maybe not every state, but most places will be able to tour package type stuff statewide.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, we're kind of feeling that out at the same time. When Carl and I just did our last podcast, we couldn't talk about it, but now we can. If you didn't know, we did that Metal Injection Slay at Home thing for
Watch
January.
that.
So Gorgatron had a 3-song set, killer set. Go check it out. You should watch the whole stream because there's a bunch of other killer bands. And then Coop from Orpheus and Carnographer, Billy from Frosthelm, Fell, and Vindicator. Is that
Vindicator? Yep.
Yep. And then Stefan from Toxic Ruin. We all teamed up and did a Megadeth cover, Five Magics. And that was all in the January thing. So did that. Working on something for April for Slay at Home, but I'm feeling lazy, so I probably won't get around to it. I like to burn my candle at both ends of the
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. You're always a busy fucking guy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, as far as Tron shit, I mean, just kind of rallying up and then do this new record and probably put out a couple of singles here this year before the album. They won't be album related, I'm going to tell you that.
Okay.
There's just going to be something separate. And then, I don't know, what else? We got a bunch of new merch we want to do, but since we're not on the road, so what I'm thinking, Carl and I have been talking, we might just do a print. So if you, I want that shirt, just go to Indie Merch, and they'll just print, a shirt, So we've had some females, they want female-made clothes shirts. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do some of that. A lot of people are like, oh, the coffee. We're working on it. Until then, just buy your favorite Folgers and listen to our CD. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah, wrong. I'm not a coffee guy, and I even have a bag of your guys' stuff.
It smells good.
It does.
If you don't like coffee, it smells good. Just put a little bit on your fucking nose. Walk around. Put it in your asshole. Put the Gorgatron coffee in your asshole. Your pussy stink, put that shit in your nut stick. Pull that nut flap up and put a couple of them Gorgatron coffee beans up in there. Jelly donut all up in your ass, bitch. Fuck.
Fucking shit. God damn it.
I'm not even trying anymore.
No, we're not. I'm gonna move on to Matt real quick. So I want to thank you. Thanks, we gotta kind of wrap it up.
In 2 days.
Yeah, go get some food, man.
Yeah.
I just got a couple questions for Matt that I'm gonna kind of call it a night here. So
all right,
appreciate it, Cam.
Well, let's do another one. We gotta get Mitch
Definitely.
and Bill.
Oh,
Bill has a fucking setup now like this, and I've been talking with him. We should do all 3 shows at one time, and then we'll get Mitch to start his own show.
I'm down.
It'll be great.
With the fabulous Mitch Mountain.
Shout out to Duff's Brooklyn. Oh my God!
not least, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt Johnson from such bands as WWJD, Gorgatron, Rottenness,
Was it not Plowscar? But
Split Soil.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
brother.
he's checking his texts. What up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Man.
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, man.
Me and Matt work together, so we kind of gotta call it a night here soon because I've gotta get ready to go to bed.
She waited until.
We gotta get ready for that.
Hey, yeah, do it, man. So, what have you been doing to kind of keep busy? I mean, besides, like I said, you've been doing Rottenness and stuff like that. What do you guys have planned?
Rottenness is kind of in a weird spot right now, so the drums are done for the new album, but we're waiting for Khalil to come back to the US, which he just got here on Thursday. He's in quarantine for 14 days? I don't know. He comes to Fargo February 15th.
Okay.
And then they got a lot of work to do.
Okay.
So the guitars will be done.
Well, your part's done. You're good to go.
Yeah, my part, the anniversary for a year just came up like a month ago. So
Okay.
Neil recorded the drums for that
Shit.
a year ago. And well, what happened is he was supposed to come back to the U.S., but that was supposed to happen after 70,000 tons of metal.
Okay.
But that's kind of when shit started shutting down everywhere else but the U.S. And then March was obviously the whatever, you know, the beginning of the end.
Yeah. yeah. So, what's the plan? Is just to how many tunes are you guys tentatively trying to release here?
I think there's like 10 on there. I don't
Okay.
even remember. It's been so long since I've even listened back to it or practiced it or done anything with it since it's kind of just like on hiatus until we get shit figured out. But
Yeah, it's shit time for everyone with that.
yeah, there's I think like 10 or 11, maybe 12 songs and then a cover.
Okay.
We're gonna do a cover of a band from Mexico that's very famous in a way.
I think I remember you talking about
Can't
that.
really say right
I won't.
now.
I won't spill any beans.
But yeah, Rottenness is. It'll happen. The new album will happen.
I got to see you guys once when you played
The
here.
drums
years
are
ago.
done, so that's the main part. That's usually the hardest part to get done.
Half the fucking battle, man.
But yeah, the drums sound sick on it. Neil killed it as always, and
Dude's fucking killer. What
the
he does.
drums definitely sound better than the last Gorgatron album. So, but yeah, we just did like experimenting with something new, and we figured out how to make the toms sick
A little bit more fucking.
without doing sound replacements. You know who you are, drummers.
Oh.
Stop sound replacing your toms and your snares.
Is that triggering?
No, that's
I'm a
just
guitarist, so I don't know.
no, that's just straight up like replacing it with a sample already
Gotcha.
built in. Use your fucking snare and tune it.
So, besides the Rottenness stuff, what else have you been doing musically to keep your chops up?
I've been doing just a lot of practicing now that we moved our practice space to Carl and I's house.
A little closer to home, if you will.
Yeah. Our old situation was cool, but not cool. So, yeah. If we can only play at 5 o'clock at night, well, guys that work starting at 5 o'clock at night, you practice like twice a week.
Yeah, we both know how that is. Having
And
the same job.
then a bunch of these EDM guys started moving in during COVID and throwing shows there. So that was cool.
Just random people
To have-
wandering around
yeah.
and shit.
Have random people you've never met, or when they look at you, they don't approach you to introduce themselves. So that was cool. So it was like two different types of people staring at each other, and you know, it's like we've already been there for years. So yeah, I mean, that kind of. It was like I was there by myself one day, and two guys just randomly walked into our room, thinking that's where this underground show or whatever the hell was
Fuck
going
that
on.
shit, man.
So yeah, after that, we were kind of already starting to fix up downstairs to have the practice space, but we hadn't tried it with like real drums and half stacks that are turned way the fuck up and PA with blasting and vocals. So yeah, the neighbors are cool. They don't give a fuck, and we stop at a reasonable time. We're not jackasses about it.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, man. It saves
It
you a lot of money
rips
too.
because I open up my bedroom door and yeah, I walk straight to my drum set if I want to.
Fucking A.
So that rips.
So I think to finish this show, you years ago told me the story of stories of the Gorgatron tales, the Toledo story.
God.
But before he starts this story, I have to tell you, he had just freshly come back from tour, and it was a slow. We just began our shift at work, and he told me this story, and I was in fucking tears because it is so ridiculous. So let's end the night with this story, bud.
Well, I mean, hey, back to the Minneapolis scene. Don't sleep on Sunless.
Sunless, yes. Good shit.
Those guys rip. That band wasn't mentioned, so yeah, don't sleep on that band.
Sunless, fuck yes.
I'm trying to think what other bands in the Midwest that rip. That aren't from Fargo, but yeah. Well, I mean,
there's a lot, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot, but you know, we'll cover them down the road, I'm sure.
I'm just trying to cover where it's not.
Fucking Garroted.
Oh yeah, yeah. And rest in peace, Van Wade.
Dude, Van Way's my fucking favorite band.
Yeah. There's Verrader, I believe. Nolan's in
Yeah.
that one too. I can't remember. He's got like 10 bands a day. So
Nolan!
It's always something new.
Fucking out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. What else? Let's talk about something else before we go into
Yeah,
that.
gotcha.
'Cause
I
that's
got
a
you,
long
man.
story.
I got you.
I'm gonna boot.
And I'm not good at
Later,
doing the impressions of certain people in the story.
Really? Because I heard differently when you were
Yeah.
telling me. It was fucking spot on from what I was
Man.
told.
Yeah.
Do you have any aspirations for when you guys get the album done? Of like, let's say the album's done and they reopen things, just get on the road as soon as possible.
Yeah, actually, we were supposed to play Japan in October, but yeah, obviously, but supposedly it's 2021 of October now for that festival with all the same bands, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Yeah. Hopefully touring happens. We talked about doing a Rottnest / Gorgatron tour.
That'd be fucking cool.
Just nothing set in stone, but we, talked about it. Just doing a whole tour of double duty, but that would be a lot of work. But also, End It All, I've been doing that.
Yep, that's right.
We're gonna film a music video at the end of February in Minneapolis somewhere. I don't know any of the details. That's all on. It's all on Xander's end, man. He takes care of the business of that band.
For those of you that don't know, Xander has been a part of the music scene and around our group of friends for some years. He used to be in the band Hoist.
Host.
Yeah, it's Hoist, man. Got the Xander impressions fucking killed me. But he started this project called End It All, which Matt has filled in for. Do you just do the live stuff, right?
I did the live stuff, and then Cameron, we did like a kind of like we did like an old school way of recording, like almost a demo way of recording a song, but we made it into just a single, and that's that Over Me Bright.
Okay.
He wrote the drum parts. I kind of just like changed a few things.
Gotcha.
Put my own little whatever on it. It's kind of, that's what I've been practicing on mostly, is playing slow.
Yeah, that's the thing with, as I was getting into with End It All, it's not something you probably hear on the Seen But Not Heard show, but I 100% supported. Xander's been a good friend and a hell of a musician. It's more of a, what would you describe End It All? Like, grunge,
Worshipping Nirvana.
Nirvana, a lot of Nirvana worship, but a lot darker.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
A more morose Nirvana.
It's
I would
like
say.
if a bunch of dudes that were obsessed with black metal listen to Nirvana.
That's a good way to put it right there, actually. That's
So
really good.
basically,
It's good shit, but like I said, it's little. It's not the extreme
it's like
grind
if,
Black Death.
like I don't know, if you listen to like Toka or like Celtic Frost, but you just really loved Nirvana.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is, I guess.
It's good shit. So check them out. End it all with.
Is it Celtic or Celtic?
Celtic. I call them Celtic
Oh,
Frost, and sometimes I call them Celtic Frost, but I don't.
Depends on how many drinks I've had. Yeah, I don't know. Other things about drumming is like, yeah, I'm kind of like with the new Gorgatron stuff that is kind of old riffs from a long time ago. Trying not to focus on just being fast anymore. I don't know.
Add a little more
Working
spice
on
to it.
riffs, or like working on accenting riffs better than just like, I'm gonna lay 1,000 blast beats on this song just to flex. You know, I don't know. That whole, I don't really care about how fast I can go anymore. If I can play 250, that's good enough for me.
Well, the thing is too, if the fucking riff calls for it, I mean, do what's called
Yeah.
for.
And I've been only listening to pretty much Van Halen since October.
I can contest to
since the Blackout month.
Yeah,
Call it the Black Month.
we've been doing a lot of Van Halen at work for Matt, and the day the King passed, we played Van Halen every other song.
And Eruption every hour
I think-
on the hour.
I think we managed to get it in there because we added a couple extra in there. I think we managed to get in there 13 times at a strip club.
It was worth it.
Yeah, and so no one complained, thankfully, because that would have been bad for them because it's fucking EVH, man.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, I've been listening to like a lot of Rush, Toto. I don't know. Not really metal. Sometimes
You gotta change it up.
death metal a little bit occasionally. Yeah, I don't know. The new Gorgatron's gonna rip. Hopefully, even
The newer Gorgatron,
that's
this one.
That's like old.
It's new to me.
Yeah.
It's new to me, goddammit.
Yeah. It's different, man. I don't know. A lot of experimenting and not trying to blast constantly.
Yeah. I'm fucking excited to hear it because you guys,
Yeah.
like I said earlier in the episode, one of the hardest working bands, and you're one of those bands where you're gonna get something different, but it's still the same.
Yeah.
Not the same, but it keeps to the base of what you guys are doing, which is death metal. But each album has its own flavor, its own. Each album's different. Not like AC/DC, everything's the fucking same.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just not trying to push the speed barrier. It was done back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So
Yeah.
the speed is not going anywhere. It's been done.
I gotta go. I texted you instructions on how to save that.
Yeah.
So you're good.
Word up, buddy.
Yeah, so we're just trying to write riffs, man. It's all about
Riffs.
riffs.
That's what I like to fucking hear, man. Like I said, I'm excited to hear some new shit. I mean, I've only heard a couple tracks off this one so far, so all of it's new to me. But I love G-Tron. Been supporting them since day one, watching the band grow from just Paul recording stuff with a fucking drum machine to Paul and Neil to Paul, Neil and Matt to just It's been a ride, you know.
Yeah.
Super fucking cool to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna get better. Hopefully after
I think
we all know, and we're all sick of talking about the subject, so I don't even want to say the words anymore. When touring comes back,
And I think one of the coolest things that happened in the last couple of years was when Neil came back.
yeah,
that
was sick.
I love all lineups, but Neil is fucking Neil. So, I mean, he adds that extra flavor to it, which is just fucking brutal.
Yeah,
You know?
he kind of brings in that, like, I don't know, bizarro shit. I don't know. Paul and him both write bizarre riffs, but it's just a different kind of.
And they've meshed all you guys. I mean, the core 3 members to what it is now. Because you've had very few member changes. You just like added some members. You've switched out a bassist. That's about it, pretty much.
Yeah, well, technically switched out 3 bass players because Paul was the bass player and then moved back to guitar. It was Paul.
That's right.
It was Paul by himself, and then it was Paul and I, and then it was Paul, Dustin, and I, and then Dustin didn't really work. And like the day that kind of happened, I remember Paul and Neil were in this band, Thundersaw, I think, with DJ.
Yep.
And Brando. And the day that broke up, we were jamming, just Paul and I, and Neil came in, basically was like, hey, can I join this band? It's like, oh yeah, sick. And it was weird because we were talking about it like minutes before it happened. And then, yeah, did that for a few years, and then Neil left. Paul went back to guitar. Cliff, Carl, Cliff left, Cam, and then Neil came back.
It's all full circle now.
Yeah, yeah. This is definitely the best lineup
It's
of
fucking
all
solid.
time for this band, because there's, you know, Cameron's also writing songs on guitar, and Carl's wrote songs on guitar, so they kind of lay down a foundation, and then Neil and Paul put their swagger on it, and
yeah,
the name of the album is a Cameron song, so.
And like I said, I've talked highly of Gorgatron on the show before, so it's kind of cool that we were able to do this episode to kind of highlight, because like I said, I've watched the transformation and the beginnings of Gorgatron from the beginning till now. So fucking, if you haven't listened to them yet, check them out. There'll be 2 songs on this episode. I don't know what Cam is going to send me yet, so I can't really say, but I'll find out this week. But yeah, we'll have 2 full Gorgatron songs for you guys to check out. And now, to finish it up, man. Yeah, it's on the Toledo story.
Okay, so, God, what the fuck happened? I can't remember what happened I think I drove from Cincinnati that night. I can't remember if that was before or after, but I remember like us, because we were on tour, this would have been 2017 with Texas Toast, Chainsaw Massacre, and then later Goblet and Paralysis, and a shitload of other bands that we met along the way, like Nemesis, and yeah, the list goes on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that I drove all night, so I was already sleeping in the van, like in the back, and we were parked at a place, and wherever. We were parked outside the venue in Toledo, and yeah, I was sleeping, and hours, I don't know how long later, but Cameron was apparently trying to stop this dude from waking me up, because, I mean, who the fuck wants to get woken up out of nowhere by a stranger when you're trying to sleep before you're gonna play drums or any instrument live? I mean, when you're on tour, you sleep when you can.
Pretty much.
You sleep when you can. It's a lot of sitting around, and that's when I try to sleep, is during the day when you're sitting around not doing shit. Some of the guys go venture out. I try to sleep, because I usually will drive at night if we have an overnight. I don't know. We're night dudes, you know? We work at night, so I'm a night owl. So yeah, this guy... We'll just fast forward to that part. This guy wakes me up, and instantly was like, I woke up and the sun was shining directly in my face, and it was hot as fuck. And I'm in a van that smells like shit, and this dude wakes me up to wake me up for no reason. There was no reason behind it. He apparently was a drummer, man.
There it is.
When he told Cameron he was a drummer, man. So yeah, he said, I'm gonna go wake up your drummer. And he came and woke me up. I was pissed. And then he was like, hey, look at this lady's tits. And she was flashing me, and I was like, they were nice, but I was so pissed off that I was just like, I don't give a fuck right now. Like, I just want to sleep, man. And then he kept asking me, like, man, come on, man, come inside, let's have some drinks. Like, no, I just want to fucking sleep so I can, sleep and play drums and, not be all tired and, like, groggy and shitty. And yeah, he just kept on, and finally I was like, just fuck off, dude, like, fuck off. And he let me go back to sleep, so I slept for a little bit longer, and then kind of woke up, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna go inside, or it was either that, or they woke me up from, like, usually when it's time to load in, I'll, like, pop up and be like, alright, let's go load in, and do my thing, and either go back to sleep, or wake up for the day, or whatever. So we get to that point, and yeah, everything was fine, and he just, like, was obsessed with everything on my drum set. He was like, it's not that great of a drum, you know, it's just, it's a nice kit, but yeah, it's nothing to, like, drool over. And he proceeded to, like, show me his drum kit, and it was, like, covered in dust and, like, cobwebs in this, like, shitty closet behind a bar, like, filled with dust. Like, you could, you know, write your name in dust. One sec. But yeah, so I think Texas Toast played first, and he had, like, I don't know if he had the gain or the delay. He had something turned up where it was just, like, ridiculous. And all those guys were on the stage just laughing, and, you know, like, they just went in, played their set, and made it, like, the biggest joke ever. Like, it was fucking hilarious. Like, because, you know, they're trying to tell this. Oh, I forgot to mention how drunk this guy was before he even woke me up. He was hanging off the side of this building, and yeah, he was hammered. Like, I think he was doing shots of whatever. He was trying to feed Carl and Cameron and Paul. And yeah, so after Texas Toast plays, we get up there, and he has no idea how to hook up these triggers. It's like, dude, just take the mic cable and plug it into this black box, a direct box that I had set up. Everything I always have.
Yeah.
I know being a sound guy is a fucking nightmare. Like, because you get those guys, you know those guys.
Oh, yeah.
You get those
Been there,
guys. You get the guys that come on stage and act like assholes to the guy that's making you sound professional. So if you treat him with respect, hopefully he'll, like, give a fuck about how you sound.
Agreed.
So yeah, like, right away I was like, I was already pissed off at this dude, and he was hammered on stage. So I'm still, like, being as nice as I can possibly be. And this is, yeah, before the shit hit the fan. So yeah, I was like, okay, dude, just, you take the mic cable, you don't need to plug in, you don't need to have a mic on my kick drum. And that was like a 10-minute process of, like, explaining why. And he's like, well, man, I'm gonna make that kick drum bump in your butt, man. You're gonna feel it. It's like, I don't need to feel it. Because I run it in my in-ears. I have in-ears. Like, I hear the kick drum. I don't need to feel it. I just need to hear it. That's why I'm like, you just plug this right in here, the signal's hot. So literally with a trigger, you know, you turn it up. It's, I mean, obviously you have to mix it, but you don't have, it's there. Like, yeah. It's a hot signal. Like, it's fucking, it's hot for a reason, because you want to hear fast parts. Oh my god. Okay, so we get that figured out. He's trying to mic the toms. I'm like, dude, just put him on there. Whatever. It doesn't even matter at this point. There was, like, no one there. We weren't even supposed to be playing, but we're like, he just wanted us to set up and play. Like, the show wasn't even supposed to have been started yet, because it was like one of those late night shows. Like, where it starts at 10 o'clock. It's like when you play the Hexagon in Minneapolis, Rest in Pieces. Yeah. So after the tom mics are on, whatever, we play. We try to play. And he has the kick drum pegged. And when I mean pegged, like, Texas Toast was like 2 or 3 blocks down the street, and they had the doors open of this venue because it was like a bar. and they could hear it clear as day over everything.
Jesus.
So we go through like I don't even know how many songs, maybe one or two. And Paul's like, "Hey, can you turn the kick down?" Or somebody, one of the guys, everybody was like saying that, and can you do this and can you do that? And then this guy, I couldn't even tell you what he was saying, like over, how they can talk through the PA to you, basically. And he was just mumbling some bullshit, and Paul kind of just like gave me a frustrated look. Everyone was just like frustrated, but also like laughing, like I can't believe we're in this situation right now. Like I can't believe this is happening. So I just go into Painkiller, like the drum intro to Painkiller, and Paul's just like laughing. Everyone's just like fuck it, and then he just starts playing. So we just started like trying to play Painkiller. Never rehearsed it ever. I mean, we fucked around with it a couple times at practice, but no one ever plays that song like Judas Priest. But we go into playing that, and I honestly don't know if the triggers like redlined it to where, or what is that called? Like when you are putting too much power through a power amp and it like has it's kind of like a governor where it just like shuts it down so it doesn't blow it up. I don't know if that happened or he just muted everything. And then that's when shit hit the fan. Like, I mean, it already was in the fan. And it was just, this is when it was like, yeah, fucked. And he just like muted everything. He was like, man, you fucking blah, 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 mumbling some bullshit. And then Paul lost his shit first. And was like, man, you've been fucking drunk all day. Like, this is fucking bullshit. And he's just like, we're fucking done. Like, we're fucking done.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we've ever, like, that's ever happened. To where, like, we've had a set cut short mainly because, like, technical difficulties or, like, one band taking longer than the other earlier in the day, so the whole schedule, that's usually the case.
Yeah, we've
like,
all been there.
The beginner bands that play early that take 50 minutes to get on and off stage, and then the schedule's so pushed behind that bands start getting their sets cut shorter and shorter and shorter throughout the night. This was not that. So, yeah, we cut the set and started tearing down our shit, and he comes on the stage and is like saying the same shit, and Paul like then raises his voice even louder and is like pointing and like, you've been a piece of shit since we've gotten here. Like, what the fuck, man? You're wasted. Like, called him out. He didn't like to be called out, so yeah, we're tearing down my shit, and he's like mumbling stuff under his breath the whole time. And then I don't remember if he was on the stage or off the stage. I think he was off the stage. But he was like yelling shit at me. And days before this, we, mainly Carl and Cameron and I, well, Paul too. I mean, we made a pact kind of like, let's get tacos every day. So we found some really rad places to eat tacos. And as you know, Mexican food makes you have very nice smelling farts. Like toxic waste farts. So yeah, this guy's mumbling shit, and as I'm like kind of like talking to Paul, I have like a seeper fart approaching. So I kind of just like back up in his vicinity, basically as close to his face as I could get without falling off the stage, and just release toxic waste into his face. And yeah, he flipped out. Yeah, he's like, man, fucking freaking out, and man, you farts sound like Eminem, man. Whatever that means. Your farts sound like Eminem. So Academy Award winning? Is he have that Academy Award? Is that what you call it?
Grammy Award?
Grammy Award, yeah. Grammy Award winning farts. Yeah, so he wants to kick my ass. And I'm laughing, like, hysterically laughing. Like, yeah, it was a good time. I thought it was really funny. Because this guy's wasted. And then he's laying on his back on the ground of this venue. He's like, man, I'll start on my back, man. Come on, man. You can lay on me and we'll stop, man. I'm going to kick your ass, man. So it's him basically against us and also Texas Toast, which, I mean, we're not really fighters, but if you get put in a situation, I mean, we all grew up a certain way. I don't know. I grew up getting my ass beat. So, yeah, you got to learn how to fight eventually. But it never came to that, and this is the best part of the story, is he went outside, and he's like, Cameron, man, you're drunk, man. Like, yeah, he farted in my face. And he is like, I don't think he would do that. So he comes into the venue, because this dude wants to fight me, thinking that we're going to all fight. And he's like, hey, did you fart in that guy's face? He's like, yeah, totally, man. He's laughing his ass off. So he's like, are you for real? It's like, yeah, dude, he just wouldn't shut up. So I just like backed up and just like farted in his face. So he would just like go away from us. And yeah.
Fuck, I love that one.
Yeah, so fast forward, he's just like talking shit. So we load the gear out, and then the bartender and the people that are working there are like, man, we're so sorry. This guy's an employee here, and the shit, like, they were pretty used to it.
Yeah.
So he was that employee. So, yeah, they gave us a bunch of free drinks, and they barely gave us any money. And, yeah, we got the hell out of there. And then Cameron gets a message from a lady that he knows her daughter. And that's kind of one of the ladies that worked at this bar. That I don't know if that's how the show got hooked up. I don't do that part, but she sent us a picture of that dude in the hospital because he was like trying to be tough outside the venue and like revving up his motorcycle and he's like, yeah, man, fuck you guys. And yeah, he fucking wiped out on his motorcycle.
Jesus, that's fucking insane.
I don't know, but there's a great like inner band story, a continuous story from that event. Like, it's like kind of two scenarios where like we're at a show of some like famous dude, and like that guy is like by the soundboard and like catches us like a glimpse of us and he's like, hey man, come here, man, like I just want to thank you, man, like, you know, you really opened up my mind that day, man. I got your shit crystals stuck in my nose, and like, man, I'm cleaned up now, and now I'm managing bands, man. He's like this super like strict band manager that like watches over the soundboard to make sure that everything is legit, or it's like he's a bodyguard of somebody that, yeah, and he ends up like kicking my ass, like for real. So if he's out there, man, like, I'm sorry, man. No, I'm not really sorry. Like,
Shit.
One more thing before that tour was over. We were in Pittsburgh, and the sound guy there was super nice to Paul and I, but for some reason was a huge asshole to Cameron and Julian. Julian was like playing bass for Texas Toast, and he was like, I'm gonna mic the bass amp, and Cameron, it was either he was gonna take a DI or he was gonna mic it. It was one or the other, and they were like, you should do the opposite of that. I think it was Cameron's like, just take a DI, because the mic he had was like
garbage,
dog shit, and micing bass can be a nightmare sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about that stuff, but as we're on stage, like Cameron's like, you know, frustrated, and he looks back, like, got some in the chamber, dude, because we ate a bunch of Thai food that day. So yeah, that guy got some smoke in his face that night, but it didn't turn out cool or nothing. I think he was just like, oh, these guys smell. And I think that was like when I told this story for the first time on the Neckbreakers podcast. Rest in pieces. Brian Thompson, you rip. Met him on the cruise ship, 70,000 tons of metal.
Fucking A. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for allowing us all to know about your shit crystals.
The
Possibly saving someone's
fart heard around the world. Fart smelled around the world or heard around the world. It's a famous fart story. So if you got any famous fart stories,
Send them our way.
Slide into my DMs with those farts, man.
Thank you for being on the show, man.
Hey, man, no problem, man. I'm going to go play my drums because I'm a drummer, man.
Cheers and thank you guys. Support the underground.